It's week 43 of A Year of Wisdom, and we have some catching up to do. Let's get to reading. Day 300 and 301 combined. Job 37 and 38. At this, my own heart trembles and leaps out of its place. Just listen to the rumbling of his voice, to the thunder that comes from his mouth. He sends it out under all of heaven, his lightning to the ends of the earth. There follows a sound, a roar. He's thundering with his majestic voice, and he keeps releasing the lightning even while his voice is being heard. God thunders wonderfully with his voice. He does great things beyond our understanding. He says to the snow, "Fall on the earth." Likewise to the light rain, also to the downpour. He brings all human activity to a stop so that everyone he has made can know it. Then the animals go into their lairs and hibernate in their dens. Out of its chamber comes the storm with cold out of the north. By the breath of God, ice is given and the wide waters freeze over. He weighs the clouds down with moisture and they flash forth his lightning. He, by his plans, turns them around so they do what he commands them anywhere on the earth. He brings them forth on the earth, sometimes to punish, sometimes to express his grace. Listen to this, Eov. Stop and consider God's wonders. Do you know how God puts them in place? How he causes lightning to flash from his cloud? Do you know how he balances the clouds? These are marvels of him who knows everything. You sweltering in your clothing as the earth lies still under a sultry south wind. Can you, with him, spread out the sky hard as a cast metal mirror? Teach us that we should tell him, for the darkness keeps us from organizing our case. Is he to be told that I will speak? Can a man speak at all when he's already swallowed up? Now, people don't see the light, which is bright in the sky, but then the wind blows and clears the clouds away. Out of the north comes a golden glow, fearsome majesty surrounding God. Shaddai, whom we cannot find, whose power is immense. In his great righteousness does not pervert justice. This is why people fear him. He does not consider those who think of themselves as wise. Then Adonai answered Eov out of the storm. Who is this darkening my plans with his ignorant words? Stand up like a man and brace yourself. I will ask questions, and you give the answers. Where were you when I founded the earth? Tell me if you know so much. Do you know who determined its dimensions, or who stretched the measuring line across it? On what were its bases sunk, or who laid its cornerstone, when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Who shut up the sea behind closed doors when it gushed forth from the womb? When I made the clouds its blanket and dense fog its swaddling cloth. When I made the breakers its boundary, set its gates and bars, and said, "You may come this far, but no farther." Here your proud waves must stop. Have you ever in your life called up the dawn and made the morning know its place, so that it could take hold of the edges of the earth and shake the wicked out of it? Then the earth is changed like clay under a seal until its colors are fixed like those of a garment. But from the wicked the light is withheld, and the arm raised to strike is broken. Have you gone down to the springs of the sea, or explored the limits of the deep? Have the gates of death been revealed to you, the gates of death like darkness? Have you surveyed the full extent of the earth? Say so if you know it all. Which way leads to where light has its home? And darkness? Where does it dwell? If you knew, you could take each to its place and set it on its homeward path. You know, of course, because you were born then. By now you must be very old. Have you gone into the storehouses for snow, or seen the storehouses for hail, which I save for times of trouble, for days of battle and war? By what path is light dispersed, or the east wind poured out on the land? Who cut a channel for the downpours, or a way for the lightning and thunder, causing it to rain where no one is? In a desert without anyone there? Drenching the waste and desolate ground till the tender grass sprouts? Does the rain have a father? Who's the father of the dewdrops? From whose womb does ice come? Who gives birth to the frost of heaven when water becomes as hard as stone, and the surface of the deep freezes solid? Can you tie up the cords of Pleiades or loosen the belt of Orion? Can you lead out the constellations of the zodiac in their season or guide the Great Bear and its cubs? Do you know the laws of the sky? Can you determine how they affect the earth? Can you raise your voice to the clouds and make them cover you with a flood of rain? Can you send lightning bolts on their way? Will they say to you, "Here we are"? Who put wisdom in people's inner parts? Who gave understanding to the mind? Who by wisdom can number the clouds? Who can tilt the water skins of heaven so that the dust becomes a mass of mud and its clods stick together? Can you hunt prey for a lioness, or satisfy the appetite of the young lions when they crouch in their dens or lie in ambush in their lairs? Who provides food for the raven when his young cry out to God and wander about for lack of food? Proverbs or Mishlei 27 and 28. Don't boast about tomorrow, for you don't know what the day may bring. Let someone else praise you, not your own mouth, a stranger, and not your own lips. Stone is heavy and sand a dead weight, but a fool's provocation outweighs them both. Fury is cruel and anger overwhelming, but who can stand up to jealousy? Better an open rebuke than hidden love. Wounds from a friend are received as well meant, but an enemy's kisses are insincere. A person who is full loathes a honeycomb, but to the hungry, any bitter thing is sweet. Like a bird that strays from its nest is a man who strays from his home. Perfume and incense make the heart glad, also friendship sweet with advice from the heart. Don't abandon a friend who is also a friend of your father. Don't enter your brother's house on the day of your calamity. Better a neighbor nearby than a brother far away. My son, become wise and glad in my heart so that I can answer my critics. The clever see trouble coming and hide. The thoughtless go on and pay the penalty. Seize his clothes because he guaranteed a stranger's loan. Take them as security for that unknown woman. Whoever greets his neighbor in a loud voice at dawn might just as well have cursed him. A leak that keeps dripping on a rainy day and the nagging of a wife are the same. Whoever can restrain her can restrain the wind or keep perfume on his hand from making itself known. Just as iron sharpens iron, a person sharpens the character of his friend. Whoever tends the fig tree will eat its fruit, and he who is attentive to his master will be honored. Just as water reflects the face, so one human heart reflects another. Sheol and Abaddon are never satisfied, and human eyes are never satisfied. The crucible tests silver, and the furnace tests gold, but a person is tested by his reaction to praise. You can crush a fool in a mortar with a pestle, along with the grain being crushed, yet his foolishness will not leave him. Take care to know the condition of your flocks and pay attention to your herds. For wealth doesn't last forever, neither does a crown through all generations. When the hay has been mown and the new grass appears and the mountain greens have been gathered, the lambs will provide your clothing, the goats will sell for enough to buy a field, and there will be enough goat's milk to buy food for you and your household, and maintenance for your servant girls. The wicked flee when no one pursues them, but the righteous, like lions, feel sure of themselves. A land which transgresses is punished by having many rulers, but with a man of understanding and knowledge, stability is prolonged. A poor man who oppresses the weak is like a downpour that sweeps away all food. Those who abandon Torah praise the wicked, but those who keep Torah fight them. Evil people don't understand justice, but those who seek Adonai understand everything. Better to be poor and live an honest life than be crooked in one's ways, though rich. A wise son observes Torah, but a friend of those lacking restraint shames his father. He who increases his wealth by charging exorbitant interest amasses it for someone who will bestow it on the poor. If a person will not listen to Torah, even his prayer is an abomination. Whoever causes the honest to pursue evil ways will himself fall into his own pit. But the pure-hearted will inherit good. The rich man is wise in his own view, but the poor who has discernment sees through him. When the just are triumphant, there's great rejoicing, but when the wicked rise up, people hide. He who conceals his sins will not succeed. He who confesses and abandons them will gain mercy. Happy the person who is never without fear, but he who hardens his heart will fall into misfortune. Like a roaring lion or a bear prowling for food is a wicked ruler over a poor people. A prince without discernment is a cruel oppressor, but one who hates greed will prolong his life. Let a man weighed down with anyone's blood flee to a pit. Give him no support. Whoever lives blamelessly will be saved, but he whose ways are crooked will fall in one of those ways. He who farms his land will have plenty of food, but he who follows futilities will have plenty of poverty. A trustworthy person will receive many blessings, but one rushing to get rich will not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good, though a person may do wrong for a crust of bread. He who is greedy rushes after riches, not knowing that want will overtake him. He who rebukes another person in the end gets more thanks than the flatterer. Whoever robs mother or father and says, "That's not a crime," is comrade to the destroyer. A grasping disposition stirs up strife, but he who trusts in Adonai will prosper. He who trusts in himself is a fool, but he who lives by wisdom will escape. He who gives to the poor will lack nothing, but he who hides his eyes will get curses in plenty. When the wicked rise up, people hide, but when they perish, the righteous flourish. And as always, thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already, subscribe button right there and click the bell if you want notifications. And if you would, hit that like button. And I will see you tomorrow. You carry me out of the storm. I'm standing at the crossroads. I'm lost without a clue. I need a big pink neon sign to show me what to do. I thank you, Lord. It glorifies you when you're the only answer. I praise you, Lord, for holding what's too much for me. And I'm amazed by you, Lord, because nothing's too big and nothing's too small to lay at your feet.